I start before I even write the story. I'll have drawn the characters, but I draw a map of the world that I want them to live in. And as I drew the island, I drew this cliff, Wild Dragon Cliff. And I thought, Wild Dragon Cliff, that's so exciting. And this is where I began to think of the dragons. What if that these Vikings really did have dragons? They trained the dragons. What if they had to capture wild dragons and then train them? So as I drew the map of my island, of my world, I began to make up the story as I was doing it. And I found, I've gone into schools and done workshops where I've got the children to draw a map of their own imaginary island and then to write a story out of it. And I found they've had some wonderful results. They wrote such lovely, exciting stories about their fantasy worlds. Another important reason for drawing a map is it makes your imaginary place seem more real. Because if you think of writing, it is a bit like telling lies. Telling a really convincing lie, you've got to treat it like it's a real place in your head. So if you draw a map, you can then know, it's like making an imaginary place a real place. And you can then know, oh, here is the village and this is how long it will take them to walk to Wild Dragon Cliff. So you can make things seem more real, because although it's all made up, yeah, the more real you can make it seem to your readers, the more the story will work for them. I think about this in the way that I write as well. So that so I try and be very precise in the way that I describe people, so that it makes it come alive in the reader's head. For example, if I say that Stoic had a big red beard, you can't really see him in your head. But if I say Stoic had a beard like exploding fireworks, you can see that image in your head. So that's another thing I often say to children. When you're writing, try and think of ways of describing things that are very unusual and that really tell the story to the person. Yeah? Try and think of funny things to compare the beard to, or whatever you're describing, in order to make it come alive in your reader's head.